Dr. R. Hemavati is an assistant professor in mathematics in Queen Mary's, Chennai. She has specialized on functional analysis. Having 12 years of experience in teaching, she has won various awards for her performance. She has published papers in 14 international journals, 3 national journals, and has presented papers in 10 international and in 5 national conferences. She is also one of the editors for an international journal.
Welcome to UGC lecture series. In the course Applied Statistics, we have been discussing about time series analysis, components of time series, index numbers, various types of index numbers, etc. Also, we discussed about statistical quality control. Various aspects of statistical quality control was discussed in the previous session. In continuance with the discussion about statistical quality control, in this session we are going to talk about control charts which will actually depict the quality of the products under study. So, the objective of this session is to discuss about control charts. There are two types of control charts. One is control charts for variables and control charts for attributes. In this session, we are going to talk about control charts for variables. Major parts of control charts. We have already discussed the major parts of control charts as quality scale, which is a vertical scale, and plotted samples, the samples which are plotted in the graph sheet, and sample numbers which will be written against the x axis or y axis, and then horizontal lines. This horizontal line is very important because it actually specifies whether the data is under control or out of control or below the standard. So, a typical control chart consists of 3 horizontal lines, a central line indicating the desired standard or the level of the process, and upper control limits UCL or upper control line indicating the upper limits of the tolerance. Tolerance limit has to be specified before we fix up the quality. So, lower control limits LCL indicating the lower limits of the tolerance. So, these 3 lines, central line, upper control line and lower control line are very important when you consider a typical control chart. So, first of all we will study one by one. The line above the central line shows the UCL, that is upper control limit, obtained by adding 3 sigmas to the average. That is UCL is calculated as mean plus 3 times standard deviation. Okay. And then similarly, the line below the central line shows the lower control limit obtained by subtracting 3 sigmas to the average. So, that is mean minus 3 times standard deviation. Now, actually UCL, upper control limits and lower control limits are usually plotted as dotted lines and central line CL is plotted as a bold dark line. If T is the underlying statistic, then these values depend on the sampling distribution of the statistic T and are given by UCL is equal to expectation of T plus 3 times standard error of T, and LCL, lower control limit, is equal to expectation of T minus 3 times standard error of T, and the control line, central line, which is just mean expectation of T. So, this statistic T will be either mean or range or standard deviation. So, according to the variables T, the control charts also will be called as a control chart for x bar, control chart for R and control chart for S, that is standard deviation. So, this is how the graph is drawn. First of all, draw a x axis. Here the sample number or the subgroup number is plotted as 1, 2, 3 etc. up to 10, and if you specify this as LCL, and if you get a particular value, that will be plotted in y axis, and LCL represent lower control limit. It is drawn with dotted lines, and similarly UCL is plotted here, and the line, horizontal line, is drawn against the UCL value. Okay, and then CL is drawn with the dark and bold line. Okay, and the points, the sample points are plotted like this. Sample values are plotted in the graph sheet like this, and if you see, UCL and LCL are drawn with dotted lines, and if anything goes out of LCL or anything goes out of UCL will be called as out of control. Okay, and these values are 3 sigma. Okay, so that is a control line is actually expectation of the statistic t. So for computing UCL, it is expectation of t plus 3 sigma, and for calculating LCL, it is expectation of t minus 3 sigma. Okay, and we get the graph like this for the control chart. What is meant by 3 sigma control limits? The 3 sigma limits were proposed by Dr. Shewhart for his control charts from various consideration. The main consideration is probabilistic consideration or randomized consideration. Now consider the statistic t consisting of n sample values x1, x2, x3 etc. up to xn, which is a function of the sample observations x1, x2 etc. up to xn. Let expectation of t is equal to mu of t and variance of t is equal to sigma t square. If the statistic t is normally distributed, then from the fundamental area property of the normal distribution, we have p of mu minus 3 sigma t, because mu t we have represented, mu t minus 3 sigma t is less than mu plus 3 sigma t. This is from the normal area, which we have seen is 0.9973 from the tables of normal distribution. Okay, or we equivalently say that p of t minus mu modulus less than 3 sigma t is equal to 0.9973. Okay, less than 3 sigma t value is 0.9973, then its complementary modulus of t minus mu of t greater than 3 sigma t is 1 minus 0.9973, which is equal to 0.0027. Okay. In other words, the probability that a random value of a t goes outside of 3 sigma limits with mu plus or minus 3 sigma t is 0.0027. Okay. So, that is 0.0027 is considered to be very small, and hence these limits are called upper control limits and lower control limits. Control charts for variables. As already discussed, there are two types of control charts. One is control charts for variables and another one is control charts for attributes. Control charts for variables are X bar chart and R chart and standard deviation chart. So, among the three charts, two charts are given more importance, that is X bar and R chart. Calculation of X bar and R for each subgroup. Consider, let Xij, I is equal to 1, 2, 3 etc. up to n be the measurements of the ith sample, I is equal to 1, 2, 3 etc. up to k. The mean X bar and the range R and the standard deviation S for the ith sample. So, mean for the ith sample means xi bar, the range Ri and the standard deviation Si for the ith sample are given by xi bar is equal to 1 by n summation j is equal to 1 to n xij, and similarly R I is equal to maximum of x I j, where j ranges minus minimum of x I j, here also j ranges, and S I square is equal to square root of S I square, which is a square root of summation x I j minus x I bar whole square divided by n. This I is equal to 1, 2, 3 etc. up to k. What actually we mean is just take a sample number like this. Sample number is 1, 2, 3 etc. up to k. In between we have the ith sample. Okay. And observations, sample observations are x 1 1. So, sample 1 will be represented with the variable x1, and this is x2, x3 etc. up to xi, and the kth sample is xk. So, the observation will be x11, x12, x13 etc. up to x1n. Similarly, x21, x22, x23 etc. up to x2n. So, the ith one will be xi1, xi2, xi3 etc. up to xin. Okay. And similarly, we can write for kth sample. Okay. When you talk about the mean of x1, first sample is x1 bar is equal to summation x. 1 is fixed here and 1, 2, 3 ranges for the second script, therefore, x1j, and how many items are added? N items are added, therefore, j is equal to 1 to n. So, in general we want xi bar is equal to xi bar is summation xi is fixed, because I the first suffix is fixed and second suffix is j, and the summation ranges for j divided by n. Like that we have calculated xi bar, and then similarly range Ri is calculated. This is R1, and similarly Ri is calculated. R1 is maximum of x1 j minus minimum of x1 j. Similarly, Ri will be maximum of xij minus minimum of ij. Okay. Likewise, standard deviation is also calculated. Next, we find x bar bar, R bar and S bar, the averages of sample means, sample ranges and sample standard deviation respectively as follows. What is x bar bar? Okay. Just look at this, and we have just calculated x1 bar. Similarly, x2 bar will be calculated. This particular k samples mean will be calculated by adding all the mean values divided by k. Okay, isn't it? So, x1 bar plus x2 bar plus etc. xi bar plus etc. xk bar divided by how many values are added? Divided by k. So, it is written as x bar bar is equal to summation xi bar, I is equal to 1 to k divided by k. Similarly, R bar is calculated. R bar is R1 plus R2 plus etc. Rk divided by k, which is summation I is equal to 1 to k Ri divided by k. Similarly, S bar is calculated. S bar is summation I is equal to 1 to k Si divided by k. After calculating x bar bar, R bar and S bar, we have to set up the control limits. Control limits in the sense UCL, LCL and CL. It is well known that if sigma is the process standard deviation, that is standard deviation of the universe from which samples are taken, then the standard error of sample mean is sigma divided by root n, where n is the sample size. That is, we have standard error of xi bar is equal to sigma by root n. Also, from the sampling distribution of range, we know that expectation of r is equal to d2 into sigma, where d2 is a constant depending on the sample size. Thus, an estimate of sigma can be obtained by the relation r bar is equal to d2 into sigma, or if you want sigma specifically, it is sigma cap, it is called estimate of sigma is r bar divided by d2. Also, x bar bar gives an unbiased estimate of the population mean mu, and since we have a expectation of x bar bar is equal to 1 by k summation I is equal to 1 to k expectation of x I bar, which is equal to just 1 by k summation I is equal to 1 to k mu times, and since it is added k times summation I is equal to 1 to k mu, since it is added k times k mu by k, which is equal to mu. Okay. So, if you want mu, that is expectation of x bar bar. Next, control limits for x bar chart. There are two cases when you construct the control chart for x bar chart. Case 1, when the standard values are given, standard values in the sense population mean and population standard deviation are given. Then there is another case where a population mean and a population standard deviation are not given. Okay, so the first case, when standards are given, that is both if mu and sigma are known, the 3 sigma control limits for x bar chart are given by expectation of x bar plus or minus standard error of x bar, which is equal to mu plus or minus 3 times, here it is 3 times sigma by root n. Okay. So, if you just take it as mu plus a into sigma, where a value is 3 divided by root n. This particular a values are tabulated in a tabular column for different values of n. N is equal to 1 to 25, the values are given in the tabular column. This is the tabular column which shows control chart constant values. These particular a values, d values, b values are already calculated and it is tabulated in the format. In this format, starting from sample size is 2 to 25. So, the a values a2, a3 is for x bar chart, and for sigma estimate d2, and for r chart constant we have d3, d4, and for s chart constant we have b3 and b4. Okay. If mu dash and sigma dash are known, or specified values of mu and s respectively, then we have a UCL of x bar is equal to mu dash plus a sigma dash, and LCL of x bar is equal to mu dash minus a sigma dash, okay, where a is equal to 3 divided by root n is a constant depending on n, and its values are tabulated for different values n from 2 to 25 in the table just shown. Next, control charts for x bar chart. Case 2, when the standards are not given, that is if both mu and sigma are unknown, usually the population values will not be specified because we are doing the sampling only for giving interpretation about the population. So, population values need not be known, both mu and sigma are unknown, then using their estimates x bar bar and sigma bar in the above two equations respectively, we get 3 sigma control limits for x bar charts as follows. That is x bar bar plus or minus 3 into r bar by d2 into 1 by root n, and after careful calculations this becomes x bar plus or minus a2 into r bar, where a2 is taken as the constants 3 by d2 into root n. Okay. So, the plus value will be the UCL and the minus value will be the LCL. So, UCL of x bar is equal to x bar plus a2 into r bar, and LCL of x bar is equal to x bar minus a2 into r bar. Since d2 is a constant depending on n, a2 is equal to 3 divided by d2 into root n also depends on n, and its values have been computed already and tabulated for different values of n from 2 to 25 and are given in the table column just shown. If on the other hand the control limits are to be obtained in terms of S bar rather than R bar, then an estimate of sigma can be obtained from the relation E of S is equal to C2 sigma, that is we have S bar is equal to C2 sigma. So, that where C2 is root of 2 by n into n minus 2 by 2 factorial divided by n minus 3 by 2 factorial. Is actually this C2 is also a constant depending on n. In that case UCL for x bar becomes x bar bar plus 3 by root n into C2 into S bar. So, this is if you take 3 by root n into C2 as another constant, then this becomes x bar bar plus a1 into S bar, where a1 is 3 by C2 into root n, and similarly LCL of x bar is x bar bar minus a1 into S bar, where a1 stands for 3 divided by C2 into root n, and again this a1 values are tabulated in the table column. Next, control limits for R charts. R chart is constructed for controlling the variation in the dispersion, that is variability of the product. The procedure of constructing R chart is similar to that of X bar chart and involves the following steps. First of all, compute the range Ri is equal to maximum of Xij j ranges minus a minimum of Xij again j ranges, where I is equal to 1, 2, 3 etc. up to n for each sample. Okay. And compute the mean of the sample ranges, that is R bar. R bar is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to k Ri divided by k, because summation I is equal to 1 to k Ri divided by k, because we are going to add the ranges of k samples, and mean will be R bar will be addition of all those ranges divided by number of samples. Okay. And then computation of control limits. The 3 sigma control limits for R chart is expectation of R plus or minus 3 sigma R, and E of R is estimated as R bar, where E of R is equal to R bar, and sigma R is calculated by the formula D3 into sigma cap, which is equal to D3 by D2 into R bar, because sigma cap we have already calculated as R bar divided by D2, isn't it? Just see, there is already we have calculated sigma cap as R bar divided by D2, and this D2 and D3 are constants depending on n. So, UCL of R, that is upper control limit for R is expectation of R plus 3 sigma R, which is equal to R bar plus 3 times d3 by d2 into R, or we can just simply write it as d3 by d2 into R bar. So, taking R bar constantly outside, 1 plus 3 d3 by d2 into R bar. Just instead of calculating d3 and d2, we will just write UCL of R is equal to capital D4 into R bar. Similarly, LCL of R is D3 into R bar, where D3 is equal to 1 minus 3 D3 by D2, capital D3 is equal to 1 minus 3 D3 by D2, and D4 is 1 plus 3 D3 by D2. Okay. Next, the values of D4 and D3 depend only on n and have been computed earlier and tabulated for different values of n from 2 to 25 in the table or just shown, table of control charts for constant. However, if sigma is known, then UCL of R is equal to E of R plus 3 sigma R, which is D2 sigma plus 3 D3 sigma. Okay. And then this becomes D2 plus 3 D3 into sigma, and this is nothing but capital D2 into sigma, okay, where capital D2 is equal to D2 plus 3 D3, and LCL of R is equal to, similarly writing the expectation of R minus 3 sigma R, we have D1 sigma, where D1 is equal to D2 minus 3 D3. So, in each case known or unknown, the central line is given by, if we want a CL of x bar, it is x bar bar, and CL of R, if we want, it is R bar. Okay. In all the cases, control line remains to be same. In this session, we talked about control charts for variables. That is, we talked about control chart for x bar, control chart for R, and control chart for standard deviation. In the cases when the population parameters are known, and in the case population parameters are unknown. So, we have just discussed the various formulae for upper control limit, lower control limit, and control line. Also, we have drawn a graph how the upper control line and lower control line and central line are shown in the graph, and the points of sample are also plotted to verify whether there is any out of control sample point in the graph sheet. In this session, the following questions may be posed. Define control charts for variables. How will you compute control limits for mean? How will you compute control limits for range, and how the control limits for standard deviation are calculated? Write down the formulae for UCL, LCL and CL for x bar, R and S. Thank you.